Welcome, anime lovers, and I'm that anime theorist, Jordan. Before we start, I want to say how happy I am that Toji is finally receiving the screen time he deserves. He's quickly become a popular favorite of the show for many obvious reasons. I mean, he is sculpted like a Greek god, he has the body of a Greek god, and he is... oh my god. Anyhow, today we'll be diving into the science of Jujutsu Kaisen and exploring how fast Toji Fushiguro really is. But before we jump in, for those who need a little bit of background, in Jujutsu Kaisen, everyone in the world produces cursed energy, which is fueled by negative emotions. If enough people of the public develop negative emotions towards one thing, a cursed spirit will manifest. Those who are tasked with fighting off these cursed spirits are Jujutsu sorcerers, who are some of the only people in the world who have the ability to see cursed spirits. Now, Toji Fushiguro is an infamous assassin known as the Sorcerer Killer and is a former member of the Zenin family, a family of Mai and Maki Zenin. Similar to Maki, Toji has a heavenly restriction, which is a pact placed at one at birth. This reduces, or in Toji's case, completely eliminates his cursed energy in exchange for an immense physical prowess. Toji is a refreshing and exciting addition to the story as his superhuman abilities circumvent the cursed energy power system. With these powers, Toji completes astounding feats of strength and speed, such as killing hundreds of bunnies to running on water. In most cases, when we try and evaluate scenes of Toji's speed, we get something like this, that provides no real true perspective into the relative distance he's actually traveling. But in most recent episodes, like I mentioned earlier, we see Toji walking on water, a feat relatively easy to dig into since it was first discussed in 25 AD, and has since been on the topic of modern science. Given its popularity, I managed to find a handy-dandy calculator and formula from the internet that we'll use for today's video. So let's strap in and look at how walking on water would work for the sake of this formula. Now, in this case, the impulse of the runner's weight depends on the runner's mass, relative gravity, and the time it takes to complete a step. The impulse of a stroke and slap are a little bit more complicated and require some approximations, one of which is that we treat the runner's foot like a circular disc, making it easier to calculate out drag while the runner is pushing against the water. But ultimately, the model requires 4 variables: Toji's weight, the area of his foot, the depth his foot goes underwater, and the time it takes to move one step. Now, when I tell you, I looked everywhere. The anime, the manga, Reddit, Tumblr, under my bed. I looked for the life of me, and I could not find anything on this man's weight. Now, given the chronological heights of the other characters, I was able to estimate Toji's height being between 6'1" and 6'2". Therefore, we will happily settle for a height of 6'1". Now, we need to find a comparable body type. If only there was a Toji-like build out there. Oh wait, Arnold Schwarzenegger, you wouldn't happen to be 6'1" and have a defined weight? Why, of course, I'm 6'2" and 250 pounds. While Toji is a little bit slimmer and shorter, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt and argue he's around 240 pounds, which is not saying much considering we still need to move 240 pounds over the water. Well, while we have you here, Arnold, let's get a look at those feet. Specifically, the size of his feet. Arnold wears a US men's size 12 shoe, which correlates on average to a length of 11.25 inches or 28.6 centimeters and a width of 4.25 inches or 10.8 centimeters. After you calculate the area of his foot, you'll have roughly 50 square inches or 300 square centimeters of foot, which, for the sake of this experiment, will be treated like a disc. From here, all we need is the depth the foot goes into the water and the amount of steps taken in 1 second. While it may be hard to get a frame of reference, we can see that Toji's foot only skims the surface of the water. We'll be generous and estimate his foot is only penetrating an inch into the water. Finally, we can easily determine the time per step with this same clip. And over the course of 1 second, we can see that he takes roughly 7 steps. After dividing that out over 1 second, each step he takes is roughly 0.14 seconds. For reference, Usain Bolt, the fastest man alive, has a step rate of 4.28 steps per second, or 0.23 steps per second. Step off the podium, Bolt. We have a new gold medalist in town. Now, after we plug all of this information into our handy-dandy formula, link in the description, we'll discover that Toji needs to be running at least 203 miles an hour to stay on top of the water. And Toji is in fact running at, drumroll please, 232 miles per hour. I mean, great. The show holds up to scientific expectations. He's fast enough to run on water. But certainly not to fan expectations. Fandom websites claimed he was massively hypersonic, which refers to the ability to go at least Mach 50. Now, Mach 50 is equivalent to 38,364 miles per hour. And for context, that's 50 times the speed of sound. Let's take a step back and remind ourselves that Toji was actively fighting a wave of cursed spirits. That will likely have an impact on his speed and likely affect his steps per second. Toji also has inhuman strength, which we could not account for when making these calculations. I used a pre-made calculator built for humans who have superhuman abilities, like the Flash or Dash from Incredibles. And it doesn't help that every character in Jujutsu Kaisen can achieve some feat of strength beyond human limitations. Therefore, quantifying strength is relatively difficult. All that being said, we can still assume that Toji is at least 2 to 3 times the strength of the average human. Therefore, our estimate should come up to around 400 to 600 miles per hour. But that's still not even Mach 1. All right, let's dig a little bit more into how fast Toji is at his peak, because running on water seems practically effortless for him. As we said before, fandom reference pages refer to him being massively hypersonic. Unfortunately, the only reference they use to this ability is to walk on water. Well, his close relative Maki, who also has a heavenly pact and is regarded weaker than Toji, actually caught a bullet at close range to her face. Well, considering the average bullet speed can reach 360 meters per second, and she caught it mere inches from her face, we can conclude that, at the very least, she's supersonic, the ability to hit Mach 1, or, to stretch it, hypersonic, the ability to hit Mach 5. With this information, we can assume running on water should be a cakewalk for even Maki. And Toji has capabilities far beyond just running on water. Now, would I consider him to be massively hypersonic? That would depend on Toji's total strength, which, as we mentioned before, is difficult to quantify from what we've seen thus far. But from the evaluation we've done today, my answer would be no. Toji's fast, but likely under Mach 10 fast. But then, why do people consistently claim he's faster? Because while Toji is fast, his true specialty is in his acceleration and gentleness. Just look at this clip. Toji can move in an instant rather than building up to those high speeds. Most fighter jets take 2 to 3 seconds to even get to a similar speed, and he can do so instantly and without damaging his surroundings. Just another reason not to mess with old Toji. So, today we learned that Toji is still the incredibly fast character we initially believed, but his speed is not nearly what we predicted. And his close relative Maki is significantly more powerful than she gives herself credit for. If you enjoyed this theory, be sure to subscribe, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.